I believe I have started to understand Isaiah 33, verse 15 and 16 from something that happened to me recently. Uh, let's start in verse 14. Uh, Sinners in Zion are terrified, trembling has seized the godless. Who among us can live with the consuming fire? Who among us can live with continual burning? He who walks righteously and speaks with sincerity, he who rejects unjust gain and shakes his hands so that they hold no bribe. Those are important parts, but here's this. He who stops his ears from hearing about bloodshed and shuts his eyes from looking upon evil. I think that's one of the reasons why we need to stop watching TV, because you hear about bloodshed day in and day out, especially on local news, and see evil. And one of the reasons why this is important is because our heart is tormented by watching evil, and it makes us angry and hateful. I've found it happen in my own life. And God is a consuming fire. You can read that in like Hebrews 12:29 and other places. But this is what it's a. We have to stop watching this stuff. We have to. I can't watch the politicians anymore. It made me so angry and hateful, and I've had to repent of that myself. I have to repent of that. Because I saw recently the end of, I was watching the end of Return of the Jedi, only part of it. I didn't watch all of it, but part of it. And where it talks about, give in to your anger, turn to the dark side. Well, yes, it's just a movie. And, of course, Luke Skywalker is kind of their messianic, their Messiah, so to speak, that saves them from the evil empire. But hatred, there is some truth, I believe, that hatred is a path to Satan's side. He was jealous. He hates God. He wants to be king. And when you look at what happens with the left, they hate Christians, not because we're super religious or super the way we live is right necessarily, because the churches are a disgrace these days, but because they hate God. And socialism and communism can't exist where God, the fear of God, still exists. So they have to get rid of it. And we can fall into their hatred. We can fall into hating them, or any of the politicians. And that's why we have to avoid watching this bloodshed and shut our eyes to evil, because it will take away our shalom. It will take away our peace. I've experienced it myself. And I have to repent of it to draw closer to God. I see that now. we must learn to not allow our hatred and our anger to take over. Like it says, get angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sun set on your anger. We need to deal with our anger and our frustration in a positive way. We need to give it to God and trust that He will take vengeance, or we will seek to take vengeance ourselves. That's why we have to turn our eyes away from seeing evil, like what's going on today, is because we will seek to have vengeance ourselves, to take vengeance on these evil people. The politicians on both sides of the aisle, things like that. Planned Parenthood, etc., etc. We must repent of that and turn to God and seek Him with all our heart. Love casts out all fear. And it's kind of hard to love your enemy when you have when you have hate in your heart. So hopefully this is helpful and instructive. Shalom, shalom.